Hey, it's Chris here. We are going to be diving into a little bit about email today in tactics and marketing. Today's episode, the question is email dead? And I am happy to dive into this. It's actually funny because this is a question that seems to come up every 3 to 5 years. And of course, there's always new things that are happening out there. And the question is that new thing better than what we already have? So now we're, I guess, 4 iterations into this question that was happening. The first time that it happened was email kind of started off as a really great tool and a huge advancement, being able to have electronic mail. But text messaging, especially with the introduction of MMS, multimedia messaging, allowed there to be an opportunity to say, hey, there's a new marketing channel. Instant messengers evolving into Facebook Messenger, into WhatsApp, suddenly changed into how do we have chat sequences and things that are there. We have social media that is, again, tied into Messenger, tied into DMs, comments, all different ways to communicate. And each of these things has also created not only a specific tactic of how to communicate with people, but it also creates an opportunity to say, this is an opportunity to have a new sales channel. From a communications perspective, there's different productivity tools like how you've utilized, like for us using Basecamp or other project management software, people using Slack in the office way more, using Microsoft Teams. All of these different ways that communicate with people means the question is still there. Is email dead? Well, it's not. There's a couple of really interesting things that have happened in the last year or two. And I think this is also really indicative of thinking about a couple of reasons why you always want to keep your email going. The first is the value. So, the value of having email is really important because number one, it is a thing that you own and it is a channel that you fully control and it should be attached to your own domain. And I say should be because there's a lot of people who don't buy a URL and so they're still using a Gmail for their email. And that means that they're using the generic HubSpot email when they're sending things out through their CRM. Please spend the $10 to $20 and get a URL that you own that can be representative of your brand every time that you send something out. And over time, it takes time to build up that credibility for your sending as well. So being able to have that value, number one, through ownership, but the other part of it is there's value associated if you were ever to go to sell your company about the size and the health of your email list. And it wasn't something that was always the case. I think there is a validity to how you're utilizing email and why that can be an asset that you have as part of an acquisition. Because it is very powerful. The deliverability makes sense, the readability, the click through, the way that you can cut through the noise of what somebody might be seeing through their feed on a social platform is really incredible. But I think that is probably the biggest incentive right now. Whether you're looking to sell your business or not, is the power and the value of your email list and the health of it. The second is the trends that are out there. There seems to be a big resurgence with longer form content. As much as there are many different opportunities for and trends and stats that are showing about how the quick dopamine hit that is happening as you're scrolling through social media and how you get that quick laugh, that quick smile, that quick engagement, those different things are always going to be there, but it leaves you craving for something that is missing, which is the depth of the content and the ability to read something that goes into a little bit more depth, like your email or being able to click through from something in email, is really a nice kind of breath of fresh air that shows a level of care. It reminds me of when people started typing emails, or sorry, typing letters and mailing the letters that they had mailed out. There was an instant thought that it was mass produced because you could hit print 100 times, 50 times, and it was not the same as a handwritten letter, which clearly was personalized. And I think that is something that is actually my next point, the personalization. But I think that is something that also shows your care and attention with how much you're putting into it. That next point, like I mentioned, is personalization, which is pretty impossible to do on social. Sure, it works within DMs because it's an individual conversation, but the level of personalization that is within email, because it's utilized for corporate communications as well as one on one communications, is pretty important. And I think that is really good. The next point of why email is not dead is because of the ability to recall. I'm still very surprised at how difficult it is to find something that you saw on social media 24 hours ago. Each different platform has a different way of tagging, of searching for what field. And through the recommendation algorithms that are there for you to continuously stay connected and scrolling through, means that you actually have less ability to recall what it was. Your personal recall of, hey, I remember that's funny, doesn't have the same effect when you can't actually go and find it again when it comes up in conversation. This is almost like the art of conversation that I remember pre-Google, when you'd be talking to someone and thinking like, oh yeah, what was that thing again? Instead of now just being able to pull out your phone and look up what it is. That's something that can be challenging. And I know there's gonna be some people in the comments and keyboard warriors saying like, oh, Chris, you just don't know how to search. Yeah, sure. You can say it that way. But I also know that if I'm trying to find a reel on Instagram that I saw 4 days ago because it came up in conversation today and I want to share it with that friend, there's no way I'm going to find it again. It would be lucky if I find it again, because without me engaging with it and already sharing it elsewhere, it doesn't have the same type of connection that I'm showing the platform that I want to recall that. And so that's something that email overcomes, because your inbox allows it to be searchable. It allows it to be found. You have it there and it's effectively saved. Every time you send an email, it's automatically saved to that person's inbox until they delete it. And so you end up having this really good history and repertoire that you can build. Even if there isn't a communication going two ways, you're still connecting with that person. So I think that's why email is going to be this really foundation for a lot of our digital communication. And I personally don't see that there's going to be something that's going to change it. I think there's a lot of interesting communication wrinkles and changes. The connection to our email and the control and the level of turn on and turn off, I think is also something that from a marketing perspective works really well, because I know if someone's looking at their email, they're paying attention rather than just dismissing a notification that comes through on text or WhatsApp. So I feel like that's a really good way to create that consistency. And that's my last point, which is consistency of the experience. If we send an email, we know that someone's looking at it in their inbox, whether that's on the phone, whether that's on their desktop. And I think that is very different from having a chat window that's open on a website and relying on that window staying open in order to keep the conversation going. The time and place and the headset mindset that is there for somebody to be communicating with you on email is intentional. And that's a really good thing by design. The difference of that versus seeing a message come through on text while you happen to be, picking up your kids or in the car or about to go to sleep, and then you have to go back there. It's not the same type of habit that's built into the email psychology and how you're interacting with it. So I think there's a lot of great tools that are out there. I personally think that there should be more intent that marketers put into their email. I'm sure we'll do another email episode or maybe five. But there's a lot that should be there that you're doing within your organization to take the guesswork out of email and to be able to have some sort of automation sequence, even if it's just the first couple of steps, to warm people up and have them feel welcome. And that's something that is actually missing in a lot of people's organizations, where they're capturing email addresses and not doing anything with them. So I feel like there's a big opportunity that we will get into in a future episode about how to kind of get going with email marketing 101. So until then, I hope to hear from everybody about how they're doing email, what your best form of communication is. Drop a comment, send us an email. Let us know how things are going for your business. But if you are interested in more and seeing how we leverage email in one way, you can actually sign up for our newsletter, which is tacticsofmarketing.com. And when you get there, you will subscribe, you will get the first intro email, and then you will pick up. You'll also be able to get all of the archives that are there. We build this entire thing on Beehive, which is an incredible platform that allows you to build your newsletter and scale it. We've even seen different companies on Beehive that have actually sold their newsletter business just from having a newsletter. Again, that value is there, right? So we do have a promo code below. It's an affiliate link to allow you to sign up for Beehive and get going. I'm fully transparent about that because I love seeing what these guys are building. And Tyler is completely transparent on his journey since he founded Beehive and has been scaling it. So give them a check out below. And if you're looking to build your newsletter out, I think that's the platform to do it. I love the referral tool that is built in along with the prizes. We have some prizes that are built in for you to get some Tactics to Marketing merch as a way of thanking you for referring us to all of your friends and colleagues who are looking to grow their marketing as well. All right, until next time, I look forward to helping you grow. My name is Chris Milton. This is Tactics Marketing, and I will see you in the next episode.